started with a failure, $100 million gone in a single quarter. That's the kind of number that erases names from buildings and sends careers off cliffs. But not for Larry Fink. For him, it was his origin story. Larry Fink wasn't born into money nor with connections. He didn't walk into finance from some Ivy League country club. He came out of middle-class California, in charge headfirst into Wall Street with an MBA and a chip on his shoulder. He starts at First Boston as a bond trader, back when the bond market was still quiet, still sleepy. Then Fink turned sleepy into gold. He became one of the first to see the potential of mortgage-backed securities, bundling up home loans and selling them off like factory-made cookies. He rides that wave hard. His department makes billions. By 1985, Fink is a legend inside First Boston. People listen when he talks. They follow his trades. They trust his instincts. But then he gets cocky. He bets big on interest rates staying low, and they spike. Boom, 100 million incinerated. And Wall Street has got the memory of an elephant and the forgiveness of a loan shark. He's not fired, but he's done. The star becomes the cautionary tale. At 36, Larry Fink is rich, humiliated, and out of moves. Most people would disappear at that point, buy a house in the Hamptons, grow a beard, tell themselves the system is rigged, and move on. Not Fink. He spends months grinding through what went wrong, obsessing over risk. He decides his next company won't just be about returns. It'll be built to understand every drop of risk inside every asset. To do that, he needs money. And nobody wants to back the guy who just nuked $100 million. Except for one man, Steve Schwarzman. Schwarzman was ruthless. He had been burned too, tossed out of Lehman Brothers in a cutthroat power play. That scar didn't soften him, it hardened every edge. He's not here for redemption arcs or feel-good endings. He's building Blackstone into a cold calculated machine made to extract, expand, and dominate. Safe bets? He spits on them. He wants killers with something to prove, people who treat business like war. If that offends you, good. Comment below. If it lights a fire in you, hit subscribe, because this channel isn't for spectators. It's for those who see capitalism for what it is and still choose to play the game harder. When he meets Fink, he doesn't just see a disgraced bond king. He sees potential. A man with an analytical brain of a trader, the ambition of a founder, and the fury of someone wrong. Fink is offered $5 million to start something new under the Blackstone umbrella. The goal isn't just asset management, it's rethinking how risk itself is understood. They call it Blackstone Financial Management. But even then, Fink knows that the name won't stick. This isn't going to be a branch office, it's going to be a kingdom. Fink builds fast, and in just a few years, the firm is managing $8 billion. But this isn't just about scale, it's about design. Fink ditches the usual playbook and embraces tech. He recruits mathematicians, coders, and physicists instead of traditional traders. They build custom models to scan for risk buried deep inside portfolios, risk others can't even see. This is no longer just a trading desk, it's a laboratory. Their collective brainchild becomes the internal risk engine, so advanced it's like a financial X-ray machine. That system will later evolve into Aladdin, the platform that would eventually run Wall Street's nervous system. Despite the progress, Fink grows restless. He's still under the Blackstone banner, and that means answering to Schwarzman. Fink wanted equity for his team, ownership, not just salary. He wanted to make Blackstone Financial Management its own kingdom. Schwarzman says no. He sees the firm as an arm of his growing empire, not a startup in need of independence. Wrong move. So Fink acts. He strikes a deal with PNC Bank, and they pay hundreds of millions to take over the company. Schwarzman walks away with a payout, but Fink walks away with control, with power, while breaking free from the guy who gave him a second chance, or more like a lifeline. He renames the firm BlackRock, a clean break, a new crown. By the mid-90s, Fink is more than an investor. He's becoming the guy companies call to clean up their financial messes. Big corporations have confusing, risky assets sitting on their books. They don't know what to do with them. Fink does. When GE is stuck with $10 billion in murky mortgage bonds, Fink steps in. He figures it out, repackages the asset, clears the mess. Problem solved. His firm starts building a reputation. When numbers don't add up, call Fink. By 1999, BlackRock went public. It's no longer just a smart operation, it's a serious player. 5 years later, it's managing $400 billion in assets. That kind of growth doesn't happen by chance. Fink built trust by showing up when things got ugly. He turned financial chaos into opportunity, and he's not slowing down. This isn't the peak, it's the launchpad. BlackRock is just getting started, and everyone in the industry knows it. The cleaner has arrived, and he's here to stay. The collapse begins with whispers, then screaming. Bear Stearns folds, Lehman Brothers dies, AIG melts, and suddenly the entire financial system is flatlining. Everyone's scrambling. They need help and they need it now. Who do they call? Larry Fink. BlackRock isn't a bank, but it might as well be. It's one of the only firms with the tools to untangle the radioactive waste on corporate balance sheets. And Fink? He's the guy who built those tools. He knows how to handle the chaos. The US government, the Fed, major banks, everyone turns to him. He steps in. He analyzes, values, and restructures. He brings order to the mess. And he makes money doing it. While the world's biggest financial institutions are falling apart, Fink is rising. In the middle of the worst crash since the Great Depression, he becomes the guy Wall Street trusts most. He's not just cleaning up, he's shaping the response, steering the ship. Larry Fink becomes the quiet force behind the rescue and the most powerful man in finance. While Wall Street is bleeding, Larry Fink has a secret edge, Aladdin. It's an oracle disguised as software. Aladdin monitors trillions in assets across portfolios, trades, and markets. It connects to pensions, central banks, governments, and massive corporations. Beyond just tracking risk, it sees it coming. It gives Fink a view no one else has, the one to see the future. Through Aladdin, BlackRock becomes the wiring behind global finance. By 2010, Fink wasn't just managing a firm, he was managing the system. Everyone depends on Aladdin, directly or indirectly. That's the shift. Fink goes from player to operator. He becomes the figure behind the curtain, the man with the data, the reach, and the leverage. He stops being the guy who plays the game. He starts being the guy who runs it. He wears the cloak and becomes the supervillain with a devastating power at his disposal. BlackRock has its fingers in everything: energy, defense, housing, tech. It's the largest shareholder in nearly every major public company. Through ETFs, those little low-fee index funds people buy in their 401ks, BlackRock quietly accumulates voting power over the entire corporate world. Fink can outpressure companies on climate policy, board diversity, executive pay, not through government or protests, but with shareholder votes. He claims it's about stewardship. Others call it a soft dictatorship. BlackRock now manages $10 trillion in assets. That's more than the GDP of every country on Earth except US and China. Larry Fink controls more economic firepower than most governments, but no one voted for him. He wasn't elected. He built a machine, plugged it into the global economy, and took the wheel. And here's something crazy to think about. If you had seen it coming, if you had bought just one share of BlackRock when it went public in 1999, you'd be sitting on a gain of over 7,000% today. Do you think that Larry Fink's power is unchecked, or just smart business? Drop your take in the comments, and like and share if this shook something in you. And if you think that's wild, wait until you hear why Japan's running out of students. And of course, make sure to subscribe right now.